if y'all are in for the last round, I'm the last person, and I will tell you about the Gold Leaf Wars. I understand if you have to go, we are well over our time, but I would love to tell you the story about it if you have a little time left in your evening. But I don't want, did you want to do it?
I don't think you're here. I'll leave to say that you're our fearless leader and visionary, and none of us would be here without you. And you are the most amazing conceptual artist, and I think I enjoyed it.
Okay, well, first of all, I just want to thank you for staying and being here and listening to all of this, because I find these talks to be so incredibly powerful and insightful and inspiring for artists, and also for the people around us who even know what we're doing and they may be super familiar with our work, but then they don't really ever hear us talk about it. That's kind of an interesting and amazing thing that can happen. And then for artists to talk about their work in public is all super scary, so there's growth there. And so I have a lot of hats that I wear, and it's really important that I share with you tonight the pieces in this show, because this was a experience that was very similar for me in the essence of like my coming of like into my own as an artist when I was in graduate school and coming out of graduate school and thinking about how art can be relevant and impactful. It's really hard. There's a lot of us out there, right? And there's a lot of us trying to figure out what we're doing and how to do it and how to survive. And sometimes we're not in an environment that supports us and sustaining life. For me as an artist, having access to this space and the construction of this space and the size of this space and the ability to kind of do whatever I kind of want to do, it's just kind of weird. But has been very exciting for me as an artist, because there are ideas about things that I'm not able to make in my studio, but they're deeply rooted in my soul, and like the way that I make art in my daily practice is very much rooted in my life as a mother and trying to find time as a maker to create art. So I became a mixed media artist out of that, learning how to draw and like take every advantage of time to create art when I didn't have time. And that my kids are now older and I have a lot of time. But that time is now filled with creating sustainability, surviving, and it's not so much about creating works that sell and that can be something that I can predict in my own financial way. Right now I feel so strongly that is important for artists, especially in San Francisco, because I feel like I'm a San Francisco-based artist. That's my place, to create work that speaks to me and what I would love to see happen in the landscape of this city right now, especially, which I feel is due to many of us as makers and creatives. When we got the keys to this building, I mean, this is a crazy story and I'm not gonna go into it tonight. We're working right now to just record this process, because it's a growing, evolving thing. This space is a site-specific installation of life and ideas and things that are super important. And how all of those pieces come together in this space is an art piece in itself. Mm-hmm. So for me as an artist, I've been able to work with Courtney. We've been able to create these crazy shows here. This one being the craziest because it's the least amount of artists, but they're really grappling with like the challenges of the space, the architecture, the time, creating a way for practice and years of like discovery to grow, and like you don't really know what you're gonna do. Like all of this is about site-specific installation, coming in and being faced with the challenge of a wall that's like you don't know. Like right now, the complexity of Amy's piece is the temperature and the moisture in the air changes. So the sticky tack, that's a situation, right? But that's site-specific installation. That's art, and that's how we as artists adapt and evolve. And like being able to like have a space where Ella could come in and create trees made out of wheat pasted poetry. Like whoa, right? So when I got the keys, I've heard a lot of stories about the history of this building and the history of the relevance of this building. Beta Brand used to be right here, which was a tech company that kind of set the precedent for a lot of changes in the mission. And they came in and brought the idea of creating products that could go into mass market and introducing them to the public, that they were able to afford a huge amount of rent. That changed the landscape of how people could live here and be here, and artists, how they survive here, okay? That's our reality. We are San Francisco. We are this crazy city. We're like, we bend, the wind is based on what money's coming through and pushing us around. And artists, like, we're pushed to the edges of where Superfund waste sites, buildings that don't have accessibility to people. Who has power over that? I'm concerned right now about power. That's what this is about. I was given keys to a space that's so powerful and impactful because people can access it. It's open, it's like, so how do you use that? You try to share it, right? You try to create a way for people to see that art is still being made here. For me, the only thing I could think of was how do we create a way for every single human being to feel like they're a part of this, which is like the earth we're standing on. We all have our differences socially. Humans are terrible parasites. We do terrible things to each other and to everything that we need to live. And I think artists have such a powerful way of communicating that, how we can change, how we can shift, how we can adapt. I heard about Islay Creek coming through the bottom of this area right here. And like when we came in this space, and the cracks in the floors, this beautiful building has all these cracks. And I was like, whoa, this super expensive building, the infrastructure and the foundation has cracks in it, which are being driven by like water underground that we can't control. There are ghost streams that run underneath this building that have been like snuffed out, that were once creating life in watersheds and other places. So I'm thinking about that, like, wow, like we can, as humans, we can continue to snuff things out, but nature is gonna persevere. It's gonna push back. So we have this building, we have these cracks in this architecture, and then it's like, wow, let's elevate that. So gold leafing the cracks in the floors seemed like a really beautiful way to honor that ghost stream. But then it became about something more, which was about power, and power in land, and power in everything you've even talked about tonight. Neckties, the ability to conceive projects that are beyond a 4x6. Who controls the power? Being taken down on Instagram, being censored for showing naked men's bodies. Like, what kind of world are we living in right now? I don't know, I don't understand. But I don't know. I think the power right now is so in the cracks, the things that we think we have been like, that we know, but also like, nobody knows what to do right now. So how do we fix it? And how do we be louder? And how do we, the people, and the humans living in the cracks, trying to make art, bring culture, sustainability, relevance, how do we do it? I think we have to start by talking about it. I think that we need to create more space. The gold leafing was done by the high school interns who work here, who are paid by the city. They're part of an internship program that we have. These are kids who go through a college and career readiness program to get job experience. These are the most awesome kids. If you ever come in here and you see them in their shirts that say drawing room understudy, whatever year I put on there, had a couple typos. We were projecting. They're amazing. They gold leaf the floors. They have helped construct things like the cardboard construction in the front on the other side. That piece actually happened during the installation of the show when my neighbors next door replaced the fixtures. And they created a huge mountain, like a cascading waterfall of cardboard. And I don't know, it kind of took my breath away actually when I walked upon it, because I was like, this is crazy. We're doing a show about land. Like waste, landfill, like how do we live, like, can I have that cardboard? And I did, I was like, yeah, sure. I didn't realize that it was like it could be folded into all these geometric things and it could build into something else. I wanted it to be like trash, and I wanted to install it around here so people were walking around tripping on it, because I think that's kind of where we're going, right? Mm-hmm. We step over trash all the time because we're humans, we just make it. We proliferate trash like bunnies, like Hiromu Sato's piece. And I don't know, I just think this space, for me as an artist, I'm able to get beyond like, and I still love drawing. It's the core of everything I do. I still doodle every day. And I still think about the process of layering those things right now. So much of my time as an artist is about this. Keeping this going, how do we keep this going? How do we make more of this? Because when people walk in, they're like so excited. There's like, right, it's real. And the people making it are real too, they live right here. You might know them or they're people they're connected to. So anyway, that's, I also have another piece, which is the New Yorker. It's a woven tapestry. That was kind of the beginning of my piece, but then I decided to gold leaf the floors. But the New Yorker piece was the first, in the first show we did here. It's a tapestry from January of 2020, chronologically woven until now. We're about 4 weeks late, but it's back by the bathrooms. That's a piece I also had my high school interns helping me weave. It's a math project, it's a focus project, it's a super straight cutting project. There's lots of skills in that. But it also was a way to weave together a little bit of visual history created by other artists in a publication in mass media that, I don't know, changing the context of it a little bit and sort of thinking about how quickly life changes and how quickly history evolves and how we capture it, how we remember it, how we line it up, how we justify it, how we change what we're doing. We're so powerful right now. Artists have so much. Like, we're kind of in this amazing power position right now. There's a lot of disparity. There's a lot of frustration, environmental and climate shifts, justice, issues. They're related to everything we're grappling with. How do we change what we're doing? How do we teach people to change what they're doing? How do we do it in a cohesive and friendly and loving way? We do it through art. It's the most amazing thing. People can take it in and they can feel it. They can be moved by it. So what I'm trying to do right now, besides make art every day, is to keep making space for showing. I believe that San Francisco owes their art community so much. We need art in the centers of our city. We need to nourish our mind, bodies, and souls. That's art in all its facets. We were the most impacted with COVID, and we were the most necessary and essential for humanity. And I think that we all need to work really actively and proactively to keep things going like this. Tell people about these events, tell people about spaces. When you find places, you find artists you love, share it. I was so pissed when Instagram took our feed down. I don't even like social media. I have been driven to utilize that as a tool as a business owner and as an artist, because if you don't have your work online, you don't have a bunch of followers, like this is crazy. So we're forced to use it, but then it's this insanely fragile ecosystem that can be taken away without reason. Censorship, it's like, oh, we don't agree. We have 4-year archive of the things we're doing. Nothing about that was bad. Not one thing. It was all good. We got it back, it took 5 days, and I'm like, I can't put words to how, that just felt like being robbed, like something I built. I built this in the very beginning. I have so many people around me now. So many people. I've created jobs for people. That's like a bucket list thing. I was trying to figure out how to survive on my own, but being able to create space and create place for us, we're needed, so we gotta keep doing it. So that's it. That's all I got. Any questions?
I have a comment. I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for staying. Thank you for participating. Adapting with us. Like, this is an adaptation. Everything is an adaptation. The next call for art that we did here was a big open call for C. It's closed now, don't even try to get in. We had over 200 and some submissions.
Wow.
And we're just like, we have like, what's so magic is there's like there's like a core of people that keep coming, and then there's like an infusion of new people. Like, who's that? Who are those? Wow, how did they find that? You know, and like, that's awesome. Because there's like 8 gajillion of us, right? Gagillion, something like that. I'm just kidding. Anyway, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you